You are sitting by a fire. It is about 14,000 years ago. The sun has just dropped behind the hills, and the air is getting cold. You are not alone. There is something curled up at your feet. It breathes slowly. It is warm. It shifts. When you shift, and when you look down, you see a pair of yellow eyes looking back at you, but they're not afraid of you. They're watching you, like you are the safe one. That animal isn't food. It is not a threat. It is not a tool. It is something else entirely. And the strangest part, it is not a dog. What if I told you that the first animal to be buried with a human, the very first pet we have evidence for, wasn't a dog at all? What if it was a fox? And what if the dog we all know and love only took the crown because the fox blew its chance? That is the story we're telling today. This is the story of who almost became man's best friend. Here's the thing nobody tells you about domestication. We think of it as this clean, one-way street. Humans wanted a helper. Humans found a wolf. Humans turned it into a dog. End of story. But it wasn't that simple. The earliest evidence of a human and an animal being buried together, not as food, but as a companion, comes from a grave that is 16,500 years old. And the animal in that grave, it is a fox, not a wolf, not a dog. A fox. That means, for a brief window in prehistory, the fox was ahead of the dog in the race to become our best friend. But the fox lost. And the reason it lost tells us more about what it means to be human than almost any other domestication story I know. Today, we're going to walk through the evidence. We're going to look at the graves. We're going to look at the bones. And we're going to figure out why you are more likely to have a dog on your couch right now than a fox. Spoiler, it is not because dogs were first. Let's start with the grave. It is called Uyun al-Hammam. It is in Jordan. And it was discovered by archaeologists in the early 2000s. Inside, they found something unusual. Two skeletons. One is a human, the other is a fox. And here is where it gets interesting. The human and the fox were buried together intentionally. They were placed in the same grave at the same time. But that is not the wildest part. Later on, someone dug up that grave and moved both of them, the human and the fox, to a second grave. Together, that didn't happen by accident. That took planning. That took care. That took, at minimum, an emotional attachment. Now, you might say, well, maybe the fox was a pet, or maybe it was a sacrifice. But here is the thing. The fox wasn't butchered. There were no cut marks on the bones. It wasn't eaten. It wasn't skinned for its fur. It was buried whole, with a human. That is not how you treat food. That is how you treat a companion. And the date on this grave is 16,500 years ago. For comparison, the oldest confirmed dog burial comes from Germany, Bonn-Oberkassel. That is about 14,000 years old. So the fox grave is roughly 2,500 years older than the oldest dog grave. That means, based on the evidence we have right now, the fox was the first animal to be buried with a human. It was the first pet, at least as far as the archaeological record can tell us. But here is where the story takes a turn. The fox wasn't the only candidate. There was also a wolf, and the wolf became the dog. And the dog went on to become our best friend for the next 15,000 years. The fox did not. So the question becomes, why did the fox lose? Why didn't we end up with foxes on our couches, wagging their tails? Let's look at the evidence. The fox in the Jordan grave was a red fox. Red foxes are beautiful, they're smart, they're curious. But they're also incredibly hard to tame. Even today, with modern knowledge and selective breeding, foxes are skittish. They're prone to stress. They don't form the same kind of pack attachment that wolves do. And that is the key difference. Wolves are pack animals. They naturally form hierarchies. They naturally bond with the leader of their group. That leader, once we came along, became us. Foxes, on the other hand, are more solitary. They don't have that same instinct to follow a leader. They don't look to the alpha for guidance. They look out for themselves. So when humans tried to bond with a fox, it was always a bit of a struggle. It was always a bit of a one-sided relationship. And that is why the dog won. Not because dogs were first, but because dogs were easier. Now let's talk about the dog grave at Bonn-Oberkassel. It is one of the most important domestication sites in the world. The grave contained a human, a dog, and a second human, all buried together. But the dog is the star of the show, because when researchers examined the dog's skeleton, they found something remarkable. The dog had survived a severe case of canine distemper. Canine distemper is a nasty disease. It causes fever, vomiting, diarrhea, and seizures. It is often fatal, especially in puppies. This dog was a puppy, about 5 months old when it died, and it had been sick for weeks. But it survived. How someone cared for it. Someone nursed it through the illness. Someone gave it food and water and warmth when it was too weak to move. Now, you don't do that for an animal that is just a tool. You don't do that for an animal you plan to eat. You do that for a companion. You do that for a friend. So the dog at Bonn-Oberkassel wasn't just buried as a symbol. It was loved. It was cared for in life. And it was mourned in death. That is the kind of evidence that proves the bond. That is the kind of evidence that shows us why dogs won. But let's not forget the fox. The fox was first. The fox was there, in that grave in Jordan 16,500 years ago. And I want to be clear, we don't know exactly what that relationship looked like. Maybe the fox was a pet, maybe it was a companion, maybe it was a symbol. But whatever it was, it mattered. It mattered enough to be buried with a human, and it mattered enough to be moved to a second grave later on. That takes intention. That takes meaning. That takes an emotional connection that goes beyond simple utility. So the fox didn't lose because humans didn't care about it. The fox lost because foxes are foxes. They're independent. They're stubborn. They're not wired to follow. And over time, humans found that wolves, the ancestors of dogs, were just better at the whole companion thing. Now here is where the story takes another turn, because there is a third animal in this story. The cats, as we know them today, are a much later arrival. The oldest evidence of a cat buried with a human comes from Cyprus. It is about 9,500 years old. That is roughly 5,000 years after the fox grave, and about 4,000 years after the dog grave. So cats are latecomers, but they didn't get domesticated the same way dogs did. Dogs were actively recruited. Humans went out, found wolves, and brought them in. Cats, on the other hand, showed up on their own. They came to us. When humans started farming, about 12,000 years ago, we started storing grain. Grain attracted mice and rats. Mice and rats attracted wild cats. The cats that were least afraid of humans were the ones that stuck around. And over time, they domesticated themselves. They didn't need us to be their leader. They just needed us to provide the rodents. That is why cats are so different from dogs. Cats are independent because they chose us, not the other way around. And that is also why they don't bury their owners. But that is a different video. So we have three animals: fox, dog, cat. Fox is first, dog is second, cat is third, but only one of them is the undisputed champion of human companionship, and it is not the first, it is not the third, it is the dog. Why? Because the dog was the best fit. Dogs are pack animals, we are pack animals. We both bond through shared activity. We both understand leadership and loyalty. We both thrive on social connection. And over thousands of years, that connection deepened. Dogs evolved to read human emotions. They can tell the difference between a happy face and an angry face. They can even follow a pointing finger, something even chimpanzees struggle with. They co-evolved with us. They became part of our story, and we became part of theirs. That is why they won. Not because they were first, not because they were stronger or faster or smarter, but because they were better at being our friends. Now let me ask you a question. What does this tell us about being human? It tells us that we've been forming emotional bonds with animals for a very long time. Longer than agriculture, longer than writing, longer than cities or empires. 16,500 years ago, someone looked at a fox and decided it was worth burying. That is a long time to love animals. And it tells us something else. It tells us that the bond between humans and animals isn't just about utility. It is not just about hunting or herding or protection. It is about connection. It is about companionship. It is about having a warm body at your feet when the fire burns low. That is what the fox grave tells us. That is what the dog grave tells us. And that is what the cat tells us, too, even if it is pretending not to care. So if someone asks you, what was the first pet, you can tell them it was a fox. And if they ask you, why do we have dogs instead? You can tell them because dogs were better at being friends. But I'd add one more thing. The fox was first, and that means the fox deserves a little credit. It paved the way. It showed us that this was possible. It showed us that a human and an animal could share a grave. And that idea, that bond, that is what made the dog possible. That is what made the cat possible. That is what made every pet you've ever had possible. So the next time you are looking at your dog, or your cat, or your rabbit, or your parrot, or your bearded dragon, remember that it all started with a fox buried in the desert 16,500 years ago. And it didn't have to be that way. But it was Think about that for a second. We think of dogs as the original pet. We think of cats as the mysterious second act. But the true story is weirder. It is fox, then dog, then cat. And the fox didn't lose because it was a failure. It lost because it was too independent, because it didn't need us the way dogs needed us. And in a way, that is what makes the fox story so fascinating. It wasn't a failure of domestication. It was a fork in the road, and we chose the dog. We chose the animal that would follow us, that would protect us, that would comfort us. And that choice shaped human history. It shaped who we are. Because for 15,000 years, dogs have been by our side. They've hunted with us, they've herded with us, they've slept with us, they've been our partners, and it all started with a wolf that got a little too brave. Or maybe a fox that got a little too bold. But either way, we won. And so did they. So the next time your dog looks at you like you are the most important thing in the world, remember that a fox almost had that job. And the fox is probably fine with that. Foxes have their own thing going on. They're crafty, they're clever, they're a little bit shady. That is a whole different vibe. But for us, we wanted a friend. And we got one. If you are curious about what other animals were almost domesticated, or why we never ended up with zebras as pets, well, that is a story for another time. Stick around if you are curious about being human. I'll see you on the next one.